that time of the year again where the routine breakdown of the service delivery in Karachi is routine. Yet another monsoon, yet another year has seen Karachi, the country's economic hub, battered and crippled by heavy rainfall. Despite the Met Department's warnings of heavy monsoon rain, Karachi and its administration was yet again caught off guard once it started pouring. After 2 days of the heavens opening up, the situation is still hellish. Streets have turned into rivers, homes inundated with rainwater, cars and motorcycles washed away. As we speak, 26 people have lost their lives across Sindh, including 9 in Karachi, due to these heavy rains on just Monday, the second day of Eid al-Adha. So why is Karachi's infrastructure so fragile? Has a crumbling, collapsed Karachi become a norm? We spoke to a renowned architect and urban planner, Mr. Arif Hassan. Here's what he had to say.
You have to have the correct diagnosis. What has happened in Karachi is simply this, that we have reclaimed more and more land from the sea. And Defence Society and a number of other settlements is responsible for this. And in the process of reclaiming more land, the outfalls to the sea have also shrunk, and they have become, in almost all cases, they have become lower than the level of the sea. So the water that accumulates in the nalas and depressions, etc., does not find a way out. Especially the Defence Society, the Mahmoodabad Nala, the Gizri Creek, the Richard Nala, the Soldier Bazar drain. Not only is the outlet now below the level of the sea, but instead of the water going out, there is a backlash from the sea into these outlets. And these outlets have been encroached upon by elite societies like the under consideration KPT Officers Housing Society, which is 1,400 acres, which have been taken away from the sea. And similarly, you have Defence Society Phase 7, built over the estuary of the Gizri Creek and the Mahmoodabad Nala. So 34 settlements that drain into the Mahmoodabad Nala don't have an outlet. So naturally, in this case, the water does not go out. Now, the solution that has been proposed by this government is simply that you remove people from the nalas and you clear the nalas so water can flow. But the point is that flow where? The outlets cannot take that water. That's one aspect. The other aspect is that all the roofs and compounds of the city of Karachi, they all flow, the water from them flows out onto the roads. And so the roads become raging torrents when it rains heavily. And since in most cases there is also a sewage system there, so the sewers overflow with water and they mix with the rainwater. Extremely unhealthy situation. So whatever the government has done, or the NDMA has done, is of absolutely no use. I won't say absolutely, but is not of much use to solving the problems of the city. Then you have another factor. That is, in its journey from the north to the south, the rainwaters faced a number of problems in making this journey. You come across roads that are much higher than the settlements. The roads have no culverts to them, so the water can't be drained out. There are huge piles of garbage that prevent the journey. There is debris from under construction buildings. So all this makes this journey very difficult. I think it's more than anything else, it's the outfalls to the sea that matter. Now, how do you solve this is another problem. But it certainly won't be solved by chucking people out. And I think the administrator has said that he's going to remove government buildings also. He can remove whatever they like. The water isn't going out. These are not issues of the central government or the provincial government. Essentially, these are local government issues. And so local government should be responsible, but the local government in this case, for a long period of time now, has had absolutely no authority and no funds. So you can't even hold it responsible. But since the provincial government has taken over these responsibilities, so the provincial government is responsible. And the surveys that it has carried out, the NAD has carried out, I mean, there are a lot of questions regarding those surveys which have not been answered. I mean, the questions have been raised, but they have not been answered. So I'm afraid we can't really hold anyone responsible except the provincial government in the present circumstances.
Pakistan Met Department has forecasted heavy to very heavy rains from 14 July to 17 July again. We asked Chief Meteorologist Sardar Sarfaraz what lies ahead for the people of Karachi.
The low pressure system has got the potential to create or to generate more urban flooding because it's almost of the same strength which we have faced just up to yesterday, from 4th July up to yesterday. So again, the system is quite strong, and whenever it reaches over the Indian Rajasthan, Gujarat, and then our southern Sindh and adjoining, then it starts picking moisture from Arabian Sea also. And meanwhile, along with that, it also gets moisture and gets moist currents from the Bay of Bengal. So from two, sources, it starts getting moisture. So that's why more rain you can expect in coming days, and that can create urban flooding again.
We tried to reach several Sindh government officials to find out what steps are being carried out for the second monsoon spell, but none of them were available to comment. So while Karachi tackles and reels from its first heavy spell of rain, it seems that we can only hope and pray that there is some accountability and long-term planning for the City of Lights.